Why do smart people make this one devastating mistake that destroys their relationships? And more importantly, why does everyone tell you to just be yourself when that's the exact opposite of what actually works? I'm about to show you the counterintuitive strategy that will make people respect you more, want you more, and chase you instead of the other way around. But first, I need to tell you about the trap that 90% of people fall into without even realizing it. You're texting someone who takes hours to respond. You're giving everything to someone who gives you scraps. And instead of walking away, you find yourself trying harder. This is called begging, and it's relationship poison. But here's what's really messed up about this situation. The more you beg, the less they want you. But there's a psychological reason why this happens that most people completely miss. And once you understand this, you'll never make this mistake again. See, when you beg for someone's attention, you're not just asking for what you want. You're actually communicating something much deeper and much more damaging. You're telling them that their approval is more valuable than your own self-respect. And here's the cruel part about human psychology. People can sense desperation from a mile away. And desperation triggers something called the scarcity paradox. The more available you make yourself, the less valuable you become in their mind. It's not conscious, it's hardwired into how we evaluate worth. But there's something even more sinister happening here that you need to understand before I show you the solution. Every time you beg, you're training them to treat you worse. You're literally teaching them that your love comes cheap. Think about it. If someone keeps giving you attention and validation, no matter how poorly you treat them, what does that teach you about their standards? What does that say about how much they value themselves? Now here's where this gets really interesting, because the solution isn't what you think it is. Most people think the opposite of begging is playing hard to get, but that's just manipulation, and smart people can see right through it. The real solution is something completely different. It's called strategic withdrawal. But this isn't about games or tricks. This is about understanding a fundamental truth about human attraction that changes everything. People don't want what they can easily have. They want what they might lose. But here's the part that most people get wrong when they try to apply this principle. You can't just pretend to be busy or act disinterested. That's transparent and pathetic. You have to actually become someone who has better things to do than chase people who don't appreciate you. But there's a specific way to do this that makes all the difference. It's called the pivot strategy. Instead of focusing on what you're not getting from them, you pivot all that energy towards something that actually gives you results. Your career, your hobbies, your friendships with people who actually show up for you. But here's the psychological trigger that makes this work. When you genuinely become invested in your own life, you stop needing their validation. And when you stop needing someone, you start attracting them. It's counterintuitive, but it's how human psychology works. Now, let me show you exactly how to execute this strategy, because there are 3 specific steps. And if you mess up any one of them, the whole thing backfires. Step 1 is the clean break. You stop all the desperate behaviors immediately. No more double texting, no more showing up uninvited, no more being available every time they decide they want your attention. But here's what you do instead that most people miss. You don't announce what you're doing. You don't give them a speech about how you're changing. You just quietly disappear from their radar while you work on step 2. Step 2 is investment redirection. This is where you take all that energy you were pouring into them and channel it into becoming undeniably attractive. Not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, socially. You become the kind of person who has options. But step 3 is the most important, and this is where most people fail. You have to maintain emotional detachment from the outcome. If you're doing this just to get them back, they'll sense it, and it won't work. You have to genuinely be okay with them not coming back. Here's what happens when you execute this correctly. One of 2 things occurs, and both are wins for you. Either they realize what they're losing and start pursuing you, or they don't, and you discover you're better off without them. But there's something deeper happening here that I need you to understand. This isn't really about them. It's about you remembering your worth and acting like you believe in it. When you stop begging, you force people to show you who they really are. People who care about you will notice the change and step up. People who don't will let you go. And that information is incredibly valuable. Now, here's the part that will determine whether this works for you or not. Your brain is going to fight you every step of the way. It's going to tell you that stepping back means giving up. It's going to convince you that if you just try a little harder, they'll finally see your worth. Your brain is lying to you. And here's how you know. Has begging ever gotten you the respect and love you actually wanted? Or has it just gotten you temporary attention that left you feeling empty? The truth is, when you stop making yourself so available, you become scarce. And scarcity creates value, but only if you're actually building something worth being scarce for. This is why step 2 is so crucial. You can't just withdraw and hope they miss you. You have to become someone worth missing. You have to build a life so compelling that people want to be part of it, not because you're begging them to be, but because they genuinely don't want to miss out. Here's your action plan. For the next 7 days, implement complete radio silence with one person you've been chasing. Use that time and energy to focus on one thing that makes you genuinely excited about your own life. Notice what happens in your body when you're not constantly reaching for someone who keeps pulling away. Notice how it feels to invest in yourself with the same intensity you've been investing in them. You might discover that the love you've been begging for was always available. You just weren't looking in the right place. Because here's what I know for sure. People who want to be in your life will make it obvious. They won't make you beg. Your worth isn't negotiable. Stop trying to convince people of something they should already know.